Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking you through my most anticipated films of 2022. Now originally I was just going to do a top 10 list, but then I looked and I realised just the sheer amount of films that are due to be released this year. Obviously it's not definite that every single film that I mention on in this video will come out this year, but as of now they are slated to come out at some point in 2022. So I thought I'd go through all of the films, and then in the comments of the video, if you let me know if any of the films that I've mentioned you're looking forward to, or if there's any you think that I haven't mentioned that I should have mentioned, let me know down below. I will say that this is more than likely going to be a little bit of a longer video because there is an awful lot, as I said, and I didn't want to do a top 10 because I feel like I would have missed some out then, whereas talking through all of them gives you an opportunity to, one, know films that you didn't realise were coming out this year and have them on your radar, and two, just get an idea of the films that I'm looking forward to coming out the rest of the year. So we're going to start off, I'm going to try and go in order because I have release dates to the end of the year and then films that haven't got release dates yet but are due to come out this year. So I'll do the release dates first and then the ones that are undated at the moment. So I'm going to start from February because there's not really anything out for the rest of this month. So the first film on my list is Moonfall. Now this is the new film from director Roland Emmerich and stars Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, John Bradley and Donald Sutherland, and is like his other films like Independence Day and The Day After Tomorrow. It's just a disaster film. I really like disaster films. I thought the latest trailer was really good, got me really excited for it, so I'm looking forward to that one. Next up is Jackass, which is technically Jackass, I think is 4? I believe it's 4 or 5, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's 4 of them, which is their last film together, so I'm looking forward to that. It's a lot of fun. It's one that might be a bit difficult to watch in the cinema just because of the nature of it, but I am definitely looking forward to watching it when I can. Next up is Kimi, which is Steven Soderbergh's new film, which stars Zoe Kravitz, who plays this woman who basically tries to decode calls that you can't hear, that are hard to listen to, and she hears murder on one of them and gets involved in this like undercover conspiracy of sorts, so that looks really good. Next up we have Uncharted with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. I like a good adventure film. It gave Indiana Jones vibes off of it. Obviously it's kind of a filler until next year when we get Indiana Jones, which also has Antonio Banderas in, who's in this as well as the villain. It looks pretty decent, so I am looking forward to that. And then we have Death on the Nile. I really enjoyed Murder on the Orient Express. I love the ensemble cast that Kenneth Branagh has managed to pull together for this one, obviously minus Armie Hammer, but you can't take him out of the film really, but nonetheless I'm looking forward to it. Then we also have Marry Me, which is starring Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson. As you know, if you watch my channel, I'm a fan of rom-coms and romantic dramas, and this just looks like a nice rom-com to watch for Valentine's Day, so I'm looking forward to that one. Next up we have Dog, which stars Channing Tatum, and he plays an army ranger who has been given orders to transport this fallen soldier's dog across the country to his funeral, and he's a bit of a reckless dog, but they grow a bond together, so I like those types of films. I love dog films, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up we have Cyrano, which was supposed to come out yesterday but was delayed until the end of February. As you know, I love musicals. I really like the trailer of this. It's directed by Joe Wright, who has done Darkest Hour, Atonement, Pride and Prejudice, amongst many other films. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Then we have probably one of the biggest films for this half of the year, and probably right towards most people's top of the list, and that is The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, and again Zoe Kravitz, who is going to play Catwoman. The trailer is amazing for this. Especially the two newer ones, really good, just got me really excited for it. I can't wait to get a proper Batman film, not like Batman v Superman with other characters, just focusing on Batman. so I'm really looking forward to checking that out. Next up is the Adam Project, which is a new Ryan Reynolds film going to Netflix, which is directed by Sean Levi, however you pronounce his last name, who did Free Guy last year. And this is basically a time travel film about a man who goes back to in the past to when he was a young boy and meets up with his younger version of himself. And I think it's something to do with trying to find his dad, or trying to spend time with his dad, because I believe his dad passed away. Something along those lines, but it's going to be a comedy. It's going to be a nice, I think, family adventure film, and I've heard Ryan Reynolds say that it's one of his most personal projects, and I believe that he also produced it as well, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Next up we have Turning Red, which is Pixar's latest film, which was supposed to be coming out in cinemas, but now is only going straight to Disney Plus, which is a shame because the last 2 Pixar films have gone straight to Disney Plus, and I really like watching those films in the cinema for the experience. But it's a Pixar film, so I'm going to watch it nonetheless and be excited for it. Next up is The Unbreakable Boy, which is a new, based on a true story film, starring Zachary Levi, and it's about a young boy who suffers from autism and brittle bone disease, and basically he's gives gifts to everyone in his life. He touches everyone in his life, and it just looks like a really nice film. Next up we have Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre, which is Guy Ritchie's new film. Now, I wasn't a big fan of the trailer, thought the comedy was off, but I'm still excited for it. It's a Guy Ritchie film. You got Jason Statham, who's great, Hugh Grant, who I just love, and yeah, I'm still looking forward to it, even though I thought the trailer was pretty bad. Next up we have Downton Abbey, A New Era. I watched all of Downton Abbey and loved it. I watched the last film, which I thought was really good, so I'm obviously excited for the new one. Obviously it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I just say give it a chance, because I didn't think I'd like the series, but I started watching it and absolutely loved it, so I'm definitely looking forward to the new film. Next up we have Moonshot, which is a film about a girl. Hang on, I'll go into it because I can look at these because I'm on my list. So it's about a woman who goes after her boyfriend who's moved to Mars. So that's the brief log line, and yeah, it just sounds interesting. It's like a teen romance sci-fi film, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up is Ambulance, which is Michael Bay's new film, and the main reason I'm excited for this is because it's Jake Gyllenhaal. It's also got Yahya Abdul-Mateen II in. I think it's the second or the third. Don't want to get his name wrong, so I'm going to go in and check. Bear with me. Second, yeah, got that right. I've watched the trailer for this several times now. It looks like it's got a lot of heart to it, as well as being a really good action film, and I've heard this had really good first reactions, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up we have The Lost City, starring Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum. I'm a massive fan of Sandra Bullock. She's one of my favourite actresses. I know not everybody likes her, and I know a lot of people don't like most of her films, but I am personally someone that does, and I love a good adventure film. This gave me kind of Romance in the Stone vibes, so I'm looking forward to watching that. Next up we have Morbius, coming off the bat of Spider-Man No Way Home. I just want to see another Spider-Man property, and it looks good. I'm not sure it's going to be great. It's one of those films, a bit like Venom. It's probably going to be a fun time, but nothing special, but still I'm looking forward to it. Next up we have Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I love the first one a lot more than I thought I would. I've seen the trailer for the second one a few times now, and just really like the look of it, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up one I'm not really looking forward to because I didn't like the last one, but I did like the one before and the franchise that came before it, and that is Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. I'm willing to give it a chance. I wasn't a massive fan of the trailer, I will admit, but I am willing to give it a chance because I did like the first one and I love the Harry Potter films, so I will give it a chance. Next up is The Outfit, which stars Mark Rylance and is like a bit of a gangster film. I think he's a tailor, and he does like loads of suits and stuff for different mobs, and it's all set in one night, bit like Reservoir Dogs style, where all these different mobs come together and they're trying to find something that's being hidden. So yeah, sounds interesting. Next up is 13 Lives, which is Ron Howard's new film about the Thai cave rescue, which obviously was real events that happened a few years ago. It's got Viggo Mortensen, it's got Colin Farrell, and it's got Joel Edgerton. So really looking forward to that one because I love biopics. Great cast and great director. Next up is Operation Mincemeat, which is Colin Firth, and it's just a war film, and I like war films, and it's a British war film, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Then we have The Northman. I've not been a fan, in fact, I can't say I've not been a fan, I've not seen the last two Robert Eggers films, because I've just not been interested in them, but this one's a Viking, like, revenge film, and I watched the trailer, and it looks really good, so I'm looking forward to that. Then we have The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is a new Nicolas Cage film. Now, you're probably thinking, why have you got a Nicolas Cage film on your list? He does crap films. This is like him playing a meta version of himself, and it's a comedy. It actually looks like it could be the first decent Nicolas Cage film in a while. It could be a lot of fun, so I am looking forward to that. Next up, we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Not much that can be said about this film. It's an MCU film. It's a Doctor Strange film. Sam Raimi's directing it. I'm definitely looking forward to it, especially after Spider-Man No Way Home. Next up, we have Super Pets, which is a DC animated film. Not really big on these films usually, but you've got The Rock and Kevin Hart voicing the two main characters, and it's DC, and it's like Super Pets, and it gave me like the Secret Life of Pets kind of vibes, but the comedy in the trailer is really good. It hit every note, so I am looking forward to that. Next up, we have Top Gun Maverick, a film which has been delayed a long time, so I just cannot wait to see what it's like because I am looking forward to it. Then we have Jurassic World Dominion. I'm a massive fan of Jurassic World, the first one. Really love Jurassic Park. I've not seen the two sequels, which I need to rectify this year. Didn't think the last one, Fallen Kingdom, was great, but it wasn't as bad as some people say it was. It wasn't great, as I say, but it was okay. And obviously this has got the original three coming back, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. Then we have Lightyear, another new Pixar film based on the real life character of Buzz Lightyear, and like in the real world, not, you know what I mean, not a toy. Obviously I'm looking forward to this because Toy Story, I grew up with Toy Story, so I just want to see as much of this IP as I can. Then we have the Elvis film, directed by Baz Luhrmann, who has done Moulin Rouge, which is one of my favourite films, and Australia. Really like Elvis, the music anyway, and you've got Tom Hanks in it as well, so definitely looking forward to that. Next up we have Thor Love and Thunder. Again, another Marvel film. Loved Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi's back. Christian Bale's the villain, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting into that. Then we have The Railway Children Return, a little smaller film on the list. I love British films. I've seen the teaser for this and it looks great. I've not seen the original film, which I am going to obviously watch before seeing this. But I've heard great things, and bringing back Jenny Agutter, who was in the original film, I think is a good idea. To bring like the people that watched it originally back into it and think, oh no, it's a remake, it's a sequel. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Then we have Nope, Jordan Peele's new film. Anytime Jordan Peele has a new film, I'm always looking forward to it, so that had to be on the list. Then we have Black Adam, The Rock, his first proper superhero film. It's been his passion project for many years, so I am definitely looking forward to it, because of the little clip that I've seen of it. Looks really good. It looks like it has a really good tone to it, so I'm looking forward to that. Then we have Bullet Train, which is a new Brad Pitt film. It's like an action film set on a train with a group of assassins. Sandra Bullock plays his handler. I don't think she's got a massive part in the film, but still, he's in her film, The Lost City. So, but yeah, I still love the concept for the film, so I'm looking forward to it. Then we have The Man from Toronto, which is a new film starring Woody Harrelson and Kevin Hart, and it's from the director of The Hitman's Bodyguard, and obviously the sequel to that. It has an interesting concept. It's about, I I think it's a man who rents an Airbnb. Yeah, the world's deadliest assassin and New York's biggest screw up are mistaken for each other. An Airbnb rental. So it's going to be like similar to the Hitman's Bodyguard type of thing. So I'm looking forward to that. Next up, we have Samaritan, which is a new superhero film starring Sylvester Stallone, who plays a superhero who's been in hiding for years, and this young boy comes and gets him out of hiding, and that's all I really know about it. But Sylvester Stallone, who I'm quite a big fan of his action work, so definitely looking forward to that. Next up, we have On a Wing and a Prayer, which is a new film starring Dennis Quaid, and it's about a pilot who dies unexpectedly while flying the plane, and then a passenger is forced to land the plane safely in order to save his family. So it's like, I guess, like a faith drama film, and when these types of films have the right cast, I'm trying to think, I Still Believe, I Can Only Imagine, Breakthrough, I think one was called. Those, I've really enjoyed all of those, and this is the same sort of film, so I'm looking forward to that. Then we have The Woman King, which is a new film starring Viola Davis, and is an historical epic, which has got me already, about true events that happened in the Kingdom of Dahomey, one of the most powerful states of Africa in the 18th and 19th centuries. Got a really good supporting cast, John Boyega's in it, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Then we have Whitebird, which is a prequel/sequel of Wonder, following Julian, I believe, who was the bully in the first, in Wonder. It's about him and his grandmother telling him the story of when, I think when she was a little girl, she was hidden by a boy and his family in Nazi-occupied France during the war. Something like that. Got Helen Mirren in, and Gillian Anderson, so I'm looking forward to watching that for sure. Next we have Don't Worry Darling, which is Olivia Wilde's new film starring Florence Pugh and Harry Styles and Chris Pine. There's a very, very brief trailer, and it just set the tone immediately, and obviously it's set in the 50s, so the palette looked good on the little clip that I saw, and I just have hope in this that it'll be good, because of all the talent around it. Then we have Mission Impossible 7. Mission Impossible is one of my favourite franchises. Action, spy, thriller. Last one was fantastic, one of the best action films that year. So this is right at the top of my most anticipated list that had to be on this list. Then we have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Really, really liked the first one, Into the Spider-Verse. It really surprised me. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did. I think that goes the same for a lot of people. The animation was absolutely beautiful. I think this has already bagged the Oscar for Best Animation next year. I don't want to talk too soon, but I'm pretty confident it will. But anyway, looking forward to that. Then we have Ticket to Paradise, which is a new rom-com starring George Clooney and Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts, probably my top 3 favourite actresses, especially when she does rom-coms. George Clooney, she's worked with numerous times before very well. So yeah, obviously I'm looking forward to checking that one out. The Flash purely is on the list for Michael Keaton returning as Batman and Ben Affleck returning as Batman for one final time. So yeah, definitely looking forward to checking that one out. Then we have an untitled David O. Russell film. He's one of my favourite directors. Joy, The Fighter, American Hustle, Three Kings, I'm probably forgetting some. Silver Linings Playbook, of course, the best of all of them. But this has got a great ensemble cast. I'll just read a few names. You have Anya Taylor-Joy, Margot Robbie, Christian Bale, Zoe Saldana, Robert De Niro, Timothy Olyphant, Rami Malek, Michael Shannon, Mike Myers, John David Washington, Taylor Swift, Chris Rock. I mean, it's just a massive cast, as he usually gets. So obviously that's right at the top of the list. Then we have a film that's not actually been filmed yet, but hopefully it might get pushed because it hasn't started filming yet, but it could film in the next month or so and be ready. And that's the untitled Bee Gees biopic. Yeah, I like the Bee Gees. The reason that this is on my list is because it's going to be directed by Kenneth Branagh. I've just seen Belfast. Flawless film. One of the best I've seen in a long time. Obviously one of the best I've seen so far this year, although it did technically come out last year. So obviously that is why this is on my list. Then we have Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Again, Marvel, I'm just really interested in this more than anything to see where they're going to go with the story, whether it's going to focus on his sister, Letitia Wright's character of Shuri, or what they're going to do going down the line. So just interested more than anything. Then we have She Said, which is a true story based on Harvey Weinstein and about the reporters Megan Twohey and Jodie Cantor who basically break the story and launch the Me Too movement. That's going to star Carey Mulligan. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Be interesting. Then we have The Fabelmans, new Steven Spielberg film, loosely based on his childhood. Seth Rogen, I think Michelle Williams is in this as well. Yep. And Paul Dano. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Then we have Creed 3, which I think has just begun filming. Love the Creed films, and Michael B. Jordan's directing this time. So definitely looking forward to that. Sorry if I'm going through so quick, but there are so many to go through and I just want to get them all out. So carrying on, Lyle Crocodile, which is a new musical based on a children's book, and it's going to star Javier Bardem. Reason I'm excited for this is because the people doing the music are Benjamin Pasek, who did the music for Dear Evan Hansen. I love the soundtrack for that. The film disappointed me a bit, but more importantly, they did the music for La La Land and The Greatest Showman, so I'm looking forward to this. Then we have Matilda, which is based on the stage play, not the original film. Emma Thompson playing Trunchbull, and you've got Stephen Graham playing Mr. Wormwood. That's all that needs to be said, really. Really looking forward to that. Avatar 2, probably looking forward to it more than most people. I love the first one. It has been a long time, but I just want to see why it's taken so long to make all these sequels. And then the last dated film is Aquaman 2. I thought the first one was good. This is further down on my list. This is probably a stupid reason to have it further down on my list. But because they decided to keep Amber Heard in it, and I just don't think it was really fair, and I don't think she's a very good actress anyway. And if she's in it as much as she was in the first one, it could potentially ruin the film. But I still want to see an Aquaman film because I love the first one. Going into undated films, we have a new Pinocchio film. There are actually two on this list. First one is Guillermo del Toro stop motion one. Guillermo del Toro obviously got Nightmare Alley coming out next week, which I shall hopefully be going to see. So to see what he does with a Pinocchio film, I'm sure it's going to be really dark. So I'm looking forward to that. And then you've also got a Disney one coming to Disney Plus, directed by Robert Zemeckis, my favourite director. Tom Hanks as Geppetto. So yeah, absolutely looking forward to that. Then we have Disenchanted. I really loved Enchanted when I was growing up. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this sequel after all this time, knowing that it is done, made, and ready to come out. So yeah, looking forward to that. Then we have Blonde, which is a biopic of sorts about Marilyn Monroe, but I think it's more fictionalized than anything. It's not a complete biopic, but it is kind of loosely based. It's more fictionalized though, from what I'm hearing. Then we have Reagan, which is a film about Ronald Reagan. Dennis Quaid's playing him. So yeah, that's the reason that's on the list. Then we have Luther. Absolutely loved the Luther television series. So I really want to see where they go, because obviously it ended with him being arrested. So I want to see where they go, where this film picks up. Then we have The Homeless World Cup, which is a British film again. That's why it's on my list. I like to support these types of British films. And it's a sport film, which I do quite like sport films. And it's starring Bill Nighy. So yeah, that's why that's on my list. Peter Pan and Wendy. Jude Law's playing Captain Hook, which has got me interested. And it's a live action Disney remake of Peter Pan. So I am looking forward to checking that out. Crater, a film going to Disney Plus, starring McKenna Grace. I thought she was great in Ghostbusters Afterlife, so this has got me more intrigued in this one, because it's like a space family adventure horror film, so I am looking forward to checking that one out. Then Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese's new film. Leonardo DiCaprio, he's very picky with what he does, so Don't Look Up was really good, so I have faith in this, plus it's Martin Scorsese, so definitely looking forward to that. Bear with me 2 seconds, I just need to go and get a drink, and I shall be back in a second. Next up is Batgirl, which is going to be directed by the directors that did Bad Boys for Life. Again, Michael Keaton's going to be in it as Batman, so got me even more excited. And Brendan Fraser is playing the villain, so definitely excited for that one. Next up we have The Grey Man, which is a new film from the Russo brothers, going to Netflix, starring Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. It's like a CIA spy cat and mouse film, so very much looking forward to that one. Then we have The Good Nurse, which is a biopic starring Eddie Redmayne and Jessica Chastain about an infamous caregiver who is implicated in the deaths of hundreds of hospital patients. It's just like a thriller. Then we have Apollo 10.5, A Space Age Adventure, which is a new film going to Netflix, directed by Richard Linklater, who is a really good director. From what I'm hearing, I think it's like a hybrid animation type film. That is what I'm hearing. Zachary Levi, Jack Black, so yeah, looking forward to that one. Then we have The Mother, which is going to star Jennifer Lopez and is about an assassin who comes out of hiding to protect her daughter that she left earlier in life. That's going to Netflix. Sounds good, Jennifer Lopez, so yeah. Then we have Wendell and Wild, which is a new animated film going to Netflix, which is by Henry Selick, who did Coraline. Just really intriguing. I think Key and Peele are doing some of the voices for this. Yeah. And Jordan Peele is actually also writing it, so as I say, anything with Jordan Peele in gets me excited. Then we have Deepwater, which was supposed to come out this month, but they moved it from the calendar and it's going to streaming. It's a Fox film. We don't get many original Fox films. I've said this in a previous video. We don't get many original Fox films anymore that aren't like part of a franchise. So I'm interested in this. It's a thriller. I think it's set in the 50s. Ben Affleck. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that one. Then we have Fisherman's Friend 2. Really thought the first one was good. Again, it's a British film. Set in Cornwall, which isn't too far away from me. I'm in the southwest. Cornwall's in the southwest. So yeah, looking forward to that. Then we have Misanthrope, which is starring Shailene Woodley, and the simple plot is it's about a cop who is recruited by the FBI to help track down a murderer. The plot just interests me. Then we have When You Finish Saving the World, which is a new film directed and written by Jesse Eisenberg and starring Finn Wolfhard and Julianne Moore. Those are the reasons that I'm looking forward to that one. Then we have Sharper, which is also starring Julianne Moore and is about a con artist who takes on Manhattan's billionaires, and also stars Sebastian Stan and John Lithgow. Then we have Next Goal Wins, which is a new Taika Waititi film about American Samoan football, I think, about the worst loss in World Cup history, and they lost to Australia 31-0 back in 2001. Michael Fassbender and Will Arnett. Then we have Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a new A24 film starring Michelle Yeoh, and just looks absolutely batshit crazy from the trailer, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out. Then we have Spirited, which is a new film starring Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, and is a adaptation of A Christmas Carol, but a musical version set in the modern day. So yeah, obviously very excited for that. Then we have The Outlaw, which is a new film going to Netflix starring Pierce Brosnan about a bank manager who's about to marry the love of his life, and the bank's held up by infamous robbers during his wedding week, and he thinks that his future in-laws are actually these bank robbers. Excuse me. Then we have Knives Out 2. The first one was one of my favourite films of that year. This has just got a really good stacked cast. Obviously Daniel Craig returning, Ryan Johnson's returning to direct. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that one. Then we have Firestarter. I've not seen the original one, but it's Stephen King, and quite a lot of Stephen King's remakes are pretty decent, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Then we have Hocus Pocus 2. love the first one of my favourite Disney films. Original 3 are coming back, so I look forward to seeing where it picks up after all these years. Then we have Hustle, which is a new one starring Adam Sandler, and I believe this is more of, I think it is comedy, but it's probably going to be a bit more serious as well, I think. I'm not too sure. It's about a basketball scout who discovers a new player when he's in Spain and tries to get back into the NBA, basically. So yeah, that's also got Robert Duvall in and Ben Foster. Then we have Spaceman, another Adam Sandler film, which is actually a serious film, a drama. It's about a man orphaned as a boy and raised in the Czech countryside by his grandparents, who overcome his odds and becomes the country's first astronaut. And that also stars Carey Mulligan and Paul Dano, as well as Isabella Rossellini. So definitely looking forward to checking that one out. I think that's going to Netflix as well. Then we have Escape from Spiderhead, which is a new action film starring Chris Hemsworth, directed by Joseph Kosinski, who I believe has directed a new Top Gun film. So yeah, definitely looking forward to checking that one out. Then we have Prey, which is a new Predator film. It's a prequel, I think it's set in the 1800s, about like a Native American basically trying to fight off this predator. Then we have I Want to Dance with Somebody, which is Whitney Houston's biopic. I'm really interested in seeing this because obviously she had quite she had a short life for one, and it was very interesting. So I'm just interested in seeing more about it. Then we have Woman Talking, which is a new film starring Frances McDormand and Claire Foy, as well as Rooney Mara and Jessie Buckley. Sounds interesting. It's about a group of women in an isolated Mennonite religious colony in Bolivia, and they struggle to reconcile their faith with a string of sexual assaults committed by the colony's men. So looking forward to that one. Then we have Borderlands, which is an adaptation of the video game. It's got a really good cast. You've got Cate Blanchett, you've got Haley Bennett, you've got Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black, and directed by Eli Roth, who did The House with the Clock in Its Walls, among many horror films. I really liked The House with the Clock in Its Walls, so I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Then we have Extraction 2. Really liked the first one. Really liked it for Chris Evans, this video is going on too long. Chris Hemsworth. I thought he was really good in it. I thought the action was really well done, so I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with the next one. Then we have Tetris, which is a film which sounds interesting, produced by Matthew Vaughn, and it stars Taron Egerton, and is about the legal battles which took place during the Cold War over ownership of the game Tetris. Then we have a new Night at the Museum film, Night at the Museum: Camera Rises Again, which is going to be an animated film going to Disney+. I love the Night at the Museum films. Shawn Levy is still producing them, this film, I believe. So looking forward to seeing what animation style this is for one, and what the film is like. Then we have Mr. Harrigan's Phone, which is based on a Stephen King short story, I believe. And it's going to be directed by John Lee Hancock, who did The Little Things, which I actually quite liked. I know a lot of people didn't like it. And he did The Highwaymen, which I really liked, with Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson. And this is going to star Donald Sutherland, and is about when Mr. Harrigan dies, the teen who befriended and did odd jobs to him puts his smartphone in his pocket before burial, and when the lonely youth leaves his friend a message, he is shocked to get a return text. That's the logline. Then we have Slumberland, which is a new action fantasy adventure film coming to Netflix, directed by Francis Lawrence, who did the Hunger Games films, and this is going to star Jason Momoa, and is about a young girl who searches for a missing father in a mystical dreamland with the help of a large half-man, half-monster creature, who I believe will be played by Jason Momoa. Then we have Disappointment Boulevard, which is a new film by Ari Aster. I haven't seen either of his previous films because I'm not a big fan of that type of horror, but this doesn't sound like that type of horror. I think it's got elements of comedy in it, and it's got Joaquin Phoenix in as well, which is why it is on this list. Then we have White Noise, which is a new film by Noah Baumbach. It's going to star, I believe Adam Driver's in it. Let me just quickly look. Yep, Adam Driver and Don Cheadle, and it follows a year in the life of Jack Gladney, a professor who has made his name by pioneering the field of Hitler studies. Then we have See How They Run, which is a new murder mystery starring Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan, and is about a desperate Hollywood film producer who sets out to turn a popular play into a film. When members of the production are murdered, they get in a world-weary inspector to investigate the murders, and it's a whodunit, so really looking forward to checking that one out. Then we have Poor Things, which is a new film by Yorgos Lanthimos, and is going to star Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe, as well as Mark Ruffalo, and is a Victorian tale of love, discovery, and scientific daring. Poor Things tells the incredible story of Belle Baxter, a young woman brought back to life by an eccentric but brilliant scientist. Next up we have The Bubble, which is a new film from Judd Apatow, and is set during the pandemic, when a group of actors and actresses are stuck inside the pandemic bubble at a hotel attempting to complete the film. Got a great cast, got Karen Gillan, Pedro Pascal, Leslie Mann, Fred Armisen, Rob Delaney, David Duchovny, Keegan-Michael Key, Maria Baklova, loads of people in it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that one's like. Then we have Father of the Bride. This is more of a remake to the original 50s film, and this is a Latin version of the film starring Andy Garcia as the father of the bride. So looking forward to seeing what that one's like. Next we have Persuasion, which is going to Netflix. Not a huge fan of period pieces, but this is on my list because it was filmed in Bath, which is just down the road from me. Last year it was filmed. It stars Dakota Johnson, and that's the main reasons why it's on my list. Then you have Rosaline, which is a new, I think it's a musical, which is a take on Romeo and Juliet. Follows, it's like a comedic retelling, and it's told from the point of view of Romeo's ex, Rosaline, who is the woman Romeo first claims to love before he fell for Juliet. So I'm looking forward to that because it just sounds interesting. And it's again, I keep saying Fox, but it's not Fox anymore, is it? It's 20th Century Studios, sorry, because Disney changed the name. But I'm looking forward to it because it's sort of original. It sounds interesting to me. Then we have Blacklight, which is a new Liam Neeson action film. This wasn't on my list before, but I watched the trailer and it actually looked pretty decent. Whether it is any good or not, we will find out, but I like the look of the trailer, so I put it on my list. Next up, just going down my list, we have, bear with me, Rustin, which is a new film going to Netflix, about gay civil rights activist Bayard Rustin, who organised the 1963 March on Washington, and that stars Jeffrey Wright as well as Chris Rock, and is directed by George C. Wolfe. Then we have Your Place or Mine, which is a new rom-com starring Reese Witherspoon, which is going to Netflix, about two long-distance best friends who change each other's lives when she decides to pursue a lifelong dream and he volunteers to keep an eye on her teenage son. Sounds interesting. Then we have The Princess, again, a 20th Century Studios original film. Don't know what the plot is yet, but it's described as like an action fantasy film. So might be interesting. Then we have, just going down the list, Enola Holmes 2 is due to come out this year. I really like the first one, so I just want to see what happens with the second one, if it's as good as the first one, and where they go with the characters. Then we have The Son, which is a new film by Florian Zeller, who did The Father, and this is going to star Vanessa Kirby, Hugh Jackman, as well as obviously Anthony Hopkins, who won his Oscar for The Father, and Laura Dern, and it's about Peter as his busy life with new partner Emma and their baby is thrown into disarray when his ex-wife Kate turns up with their teenage son, Nicholas. So I'm looking forward to that one. Then we have Reptile, which is going to Netflix, and is a crime drama thriller starring Benicio del Toro, who plays a detective who's basically investigating this case where nothing is as it seems. That just sounds like an interesting film to me, so looking forward to that. Then we have Havoc, which is a new film starring Tom Hardy, which I believe, written and directed by Gareth Evans, which is always a reason to be excited for a new action film. All filmed in Wales. I think it was the biggest budgeted film ever made in Wales. So yeah, that has to go on my list. Then we have Argyle, which is a new Matthew Vaughn film, a spy film which is more outlandish than Bond, I'm hearing, but it's going to try and challenge Bond. I assume it'll have bits of comedy in as well, but yeah, looking forward to that. Then we have Asteroid City, which is Wes Anderson's new film. He's just started filming another film, but this is the one that will come out probably before this, which has got a massive cast. I think Bill Murray's in it, I believe, maybe. Yeah. Tom Hanks, Scarlett Johansson, Margot Robbie, Tilda Swinton, Adrian Brody, Bryan Cranston, Jeff Goldblum, Liev Schreiber, Fisher Stevens, Maya Hawke, Rupert Friend, Hope Davis, Jeffrey Wright. Just a massive, massive cast. So obviously I'm looking forward to a new Wes Anderson film. Then we have The Lost King, which will star Steve Coogan, and it's a Stephen Frears film. So that is why it's on my list, because I think Stephen Frears is an excellent director. And it's about an amateur historian who defies the stodgy academic establishment in her efforts to find King Richard III's remains, which were lost for over 500 years. Also starring Sally Hawkins as well, so looking forward to that one. Then we have Sniff, which again, as of now, hasn't started filming, but is due to start filming in the next month or two. This is like a crime noir thriller, which is going to star Helen Mirren, Al Pacino, Morgan Freeman, and Danny DeVito. If that's not enough to get you excited, it's also directed by Taylor Hackford, obviously Helen Mirren's husband, who's done fantastic films in the past, An Officer and a Gentleman, White Knight, The Devil's Advocate, Ray, lots and lots of films. So definitely looking forward to that one if it gets made. Then we have an untitled Kenya Barris / Jonah Hill film. The reason this is on my list is because it's got Eddie Murphy in it. Any chance to see Eddie Murphy in a film, I'll go for it. Jonah Hill as well. Not done a lot recently, obviously Don't Look Up, which he was great in. But yeah, looking forward to checking that one out. Then we have The School for Good and Evil, which is a new fantasy film going to Netflix, which is directed by Paul Feig, who did Bridesmaids and Spy. We won't talk about the film he did after Spy. Last Christmas, which I really like. So yeah, that's definitely on my list. Charlize Theron, Michelle Yeoh, Lawrence Fishburne, Ben Kingsley, Kerry Washington. Yeah, had to be on my list. And then the final ones, which are technically coming out next year here, but are having a release in America end of this year, is, I think there's only one from what I'm looking at. Yeah, just one, and that is Babylon, which is Damien Chazelle's new film, set at the end of the silent era of films in Hollywood. Obviously, as I say, starring Brad Pitt. And yeah, just looking forward to seeing what he does next, because I think he's a fantastic director. So that is it. My voice is going. I've spoken way too long, not stopped. I hope you really enjoyed this video. As I said, I wasn't originally going to do it this way, but I thought it was the best way to do it, because some of these films you might not even be aware are due to come out this year, and I just wanted you to be aware of the ones that I'm looking forward to, maybe what they're about, who's in them, just to get people excited for some of these films, instead of just saying 10 films that I am excited for and then missing out loads that I'm also really excited for, because I can't judge how excited I am for certain films, so I thought I'd go through them all. But anyway, that is it. So if you like the video, don't forget to give it a like. But if for some reason you didn't like your video, then by all means give it a dislike. But if you do choose to dislike it, then I would appreciate it if you let me know why down in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this, and turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded onto the channel. Comment down below anything and everything. Are there any films that I didn't mention that you're looking forward to this year? Of the ones I did mention, are there any that now I've done this video you are now looking forward to? Let me know. I will get back to you as always. Until next time, goodbye.